Chapter 1. The Perfect Proposal. I dropped to one knee in the middle of the park, heart pounding so loud I was sure she could hear it. "Emily, will you marry me?" She gasped, hands flying to her mouth. "Alex, yes. Yes, of course I'll marry you." I slid the ring on her finger and stood up. She threw her arms around my neck, kissing me like the whole world wasn't watching. "You just made me the happiest man alive," I whispered against her lips. That night at the little Italian place we loved, candlelight flickering between us, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Baby, we need to talk about something important." I raised an eyebrow. "Already planning the honeymoon?" She laughed softly. "No. A prenup." I almost choked on my wine. "A prenup? Come on. Listen to me," she said, leaning closer. "You're worth billions now. Everyone knows it. I don't want a single person to ever say I'm with you for the money. If we have a prenup, it shuts them up forever." I shook my head. "I trust you. I don't need a piece of paper to prove that." "But I need it," she said, eyes shining. "Please. For me." I was thinking we add an infidelity clause. Whoever cheats loses everything. That way we both know this is real. Ist hier. You think I'm gonna cheat on you? No. God no. But it protects you more than it protects me. You have everything to lose, Alex. I just have you. I laughed, still thinking she was half joking. "You're serious. Dead serious. It's romantic in a weird way. We're saying, I'll never hurt you and here's proof." I took a long sip of wine. "If it makes you happy, fine. We'll do the stupid prenup." She beamed and kissed me across the table. "Thank you. I love you so much." Later that night my phone lit up. "Mark, why congrats man." She said yes? Me, she did. "Drinks tomorrow to celebrate?" Mark, hell yes. "Proud of you bro." Then another text, from Laura. "Laura, call me before you sign anything Alex. Please." I rolled my eyes and showed Emily. "She's just being my overprotective big sister," I said. Emily smiled sweetly. "She loves you. It's cute." I pulled Emily against me on the couch. "We're getting married," I said, still not believing it. "We are," she whispered, tracing my jaw. "And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving I deserve you." I kissed her again, slow and deep, pushing Laura's warning out of my mind. How could anything this perfect ever go wrong? Chapter 2. Doubts in the Details. I sat across from Mr. Thompson in his glass-walled office, the prenup draft open on the table between us. Emily's hand rested on my thigh under the desk, warm and steady. "Paragraph 7, Mr. Thompson said, tapping the page. Infidelity clause. If either party is proven unfaithful, the guilty party forfeits 95% of joint assets and all individual assets acquired during the marriage. It's unusually harsh." Emily leaned forward, smiling that perfect smile. "It's supposed to be harsh, Mr. Thompson. That's the point. I want Alex to know I'm not here for his money. And I want to know he'll never have a reason to stay faithful too." I shifted in my seat. Come on. 95%? That's basically everything. She turned those big green eyes on me. "Baby, you're worth $23 billion right now. I have 40,000 in savings. Who exactly are we protecting here to protect?" Mr. Thompson cleared his throat. "She's not wrong, Alex. Legally, this shields you far more than it hurts you." I rubbed the back of my neck. "Still feels extreme." Emily squeezed my hand. "Trust me. If we ever get to the point where one of us is cheating, the marriage is already dead. Let the money go with the corpse. I just want us to start clean." I looked at her, really looked, and saw only love. "Okay," I said quietly. "Leave it in." She kissed my cheek. "Thank you, baby. You won't regret it." 2 nights later I was at the bar with Mark, shooting pool after work. He lined up a shot and grinned. "So your girl wants to nuke whoever cheats? Damn it. That's cold." I laughed, but it came out forced. "She says it keeps us honest." "Honest," he repeated, sinking the 8-ball. "Sure. Hey, meet Sarah, my new executive assistant." A woman stepped up beside him, tall, dark hair, polite smile. Hi, Mr. Carter. Congratulations on the engagement. Call me Alex, I said, shaking her hand. Her grip was firm, eyes sharp. Something about her felt careful. Mark slapped my back. Don't worry, bro. I'll keep the pretty assistants away from you so that prenup never bites you in the ass. Sarah's smile tightened. I should get back to the office. Nice meeting you, Alex. She walked away. Mark watched her go, then turned to me. She's good. Too good. Keeps finding mistakes I didn't know I made. I took a long drink. Maybe hire someone who doesn't scare you. Nah, he said. Scared is good. Keeps me on my toes. That night I got home late. Emily was on the couch in one of my t-shirts, laptop glowing on her legs. Hey, beautiful, I said, kissing her head. Still working? Deadline tomorrow, she murmured, not looking up. Go shower. You smell like bar. I hesitated in the doorway. You've been pulling a lot of late nights lately. She finally met my eyes and smiled softly. I know. I'm sorry. Once this campaign launches, I'll be all yours again. Promise. I nodded, but the doubt sat heavy in my chest. The next afternoon my phone rang. Mom. Alexander James Carter, she started, which meant trouble. Are you really signing a prenup that says if you ever cheat you lose everything? I sighed, pacing my office. It's not just me, Mom. It goes both ways. It goes your way 95%, Emily told me herself. Sweetheart, you've known this girl 2 years. That's nothing compared to a lifetime. She's not after my money. Maybe not today. But people change when the ring's on and the billions are real. She insisted on the prenup, Mom. To prove she isn't. Silence on the line. Then, be careful, baby. Love shouldn't need a punishment clause to survive. I stared out at the city skyline. I gotta go. I love you. I love you more. And I'm praying for you. I hung up and rubbed my eyes. My reflection in the window looked tired. Emily's voice floated in from the hallway that evening. Babe? I'm heading out. Client dinner ran long, now drinks. Don't wait up, okay? I walked out of the bedroom. She was already at the door, coat on, phone in hand. Again. Another one? I asked. She flashed that smile. Last one this week, I swear. She kissed me quick, too quick, and was gone. The door clicked shut. I stood there in the quiet penthouse, the prenup papers still sitting on the kitchen island where we'd left them. For the first time, the word trap whispered across my mind. I pushed it away. But it stayed. Chapter 3, Cracks in the Foundation. I walked into the kitchen and saw Emily smiling at her phone, thumbs flying. The second she noticed me, the screen went black. Who was that? I asked, trying to sound casual. Just a client, she said, kissing my cheek. Big campaign stuff. Boring. That night she canceled our dinner reservation. Sorry, babe, deadline moved up. Rain check. Sure, I said, but my stomach twisted. 2 nights later I woke up at 2 a.m. She wasn't in bed. I found her on the balcony, whispering into her phone. When she saw me, she ended the call fast. Everything okay? I asked. Couldn't sleep. Work call with London, she said and slipped past me. The next morning I borrowed her phone to check the weather while mine charged. A text popped up before I could swipe away. Unknown number, can't wait for tonight. Room 2408, same as last time? My heart stopped. I stared at the screen until it locked itself. She walked in, hair wet from the shower. Find the forecast? I held the phone up. Who's meeting you in room 2408 tonight? Her face froze for half a second, then softened. Oh my God, that's Derek from the Vance account. We're presenting tomorrow and he always jokes like that. I'll tell him to cut it out. It didn't look like a joke. Alex, come on. You know how flirty ad people are. It's nothing. She cupped my face. I love you. Only you. I wanted to believe her. I really did. That afternoon I called Laura. Hey, big brother, she answered. How's the wedding planning? Something's off with Emily. I told her about the texts, the late nights, the canceled dates. Hire a private investigator, she said without hesitation. No. I'm not turning into that guy. Then you're choosing to be the blind guy. Your call. I hung up, hating how right she sounded. Friday was the company summer party. I stood by the bar watching Emily laugh with clients when Sarah appeared beside me. Hey boss. She kept her voice low. Can we talk? Sure. Not here. Balcony. We stepped outside. The city lights blinked below us. I shouldn't say anything, Sarah started, but people are talking. Emily and some guy, tall, dark hair, expensive watch, have been seen leaving the office together late. More than once. My assistant saw them at the Meridian Hotel last week. Blood rushed in my ears. You sure? I wouldn't tell you if I wasn't. Before I could answer, Mark walked up holding 3 beers. There you are. Hiding from your own party? He handed me a bottle. Sarah, stop hogging the seat. Sarah forced a smile and left. Mark clapped my shoulder. You okay, man? You look pale. Have you noticed anything weird with Emily? He laughed. Weird how? Late nights. Secret phone stuff. Dude, she's planning a wedding and running campaigns. Cut her some slack. He leaned closer. And honestly, Emily worships you. Anyone can see that. Don't let paranoid gossip ruin the best thing in your life. I nodded slowly, but the doubt kept growing. Sunday, Tina came over with bridal magazines and champagne. Oh my God, you two are so perfect it hurts, she squealed, hugging Emily. Then she turned to me. You better not screw this up, mister. Girls like Emily don't come around twice. Emily laughed. He knows. Tina flopped on the couch. Seriously, Alex, she talks about you nonstop. Alex this, Alex that. It's disgusting and adorable. Emily blushed and mouthed thank you to Tina. I smiled, but inside the voices fought. She loves you. She's lying. She's just stressed. Room 2408. It's nothing. Then why does it hurt so much? That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling while Emily slept beside me, her breathing soft and steady. I reached for her phone on the nightstand. My hand hovered. I pulled it back. I turned over and pressed my face into the pillow so she wouldn't hear me cry. Chapter 4. The Shocking Betrayal. I sat in the dark living room, the envelope from the private investigator burning a hole in my lap. My hands shook as I pulled out the photos. Emily. My Emily. Wrapped around Greg Harlan in the doorway of the Four Seasons, his mouth on her neck, her fingers in his hair. My stomach turned. I couldn't breathe. The front door clicked open. Baby? Why are all the lights off? Emily's voice floated in, sweet as ever. I flicked on the lamp. She froze when she saw my face, saw the pictures spread across the coffee table. Alex, she whispered. Who is he to you? My voice came out flat, dead. She dropped her purse. It's not what it looks like. I swear. Then tell me what it is. I shouted, throwing the photos at her feet. Because it looks like my fiancé is screwing Greg Harlan. Tears filled her eyes instantly. It was a mistake. One time. I was drunk, he kept pouring champagne and I... Stop. I stood up. Just stop lying. She stepped toward me, arms out. Alex, please. I love you. Only you. It didn't mean anything. I laughed, bitter and broken. You've been lying for months. Late nights, secret phone, all of it. How long, Emily? She looked away. How long? For months, she whispered. For months. While I was planning our wedding. While I was signing that damn prenup to protect me. I turned away from her, chest heaving. Get out. Alex, no. Get out. She sobbed, grabbing her purse. We can fix this. Couples therapy, anything. The door slammed behind her. I don't know how long I stood there before my phone rang. Mr. Thompson. Alex, we have a problem. A big one. What now? I rasped. I just got served papers from Emily's attorney. They're claiming you violated the infidelity clause. They have photos, emails, hotel receipts, all dated before her affair. That's impossible. I never. It's Sarah, your assistant. They have pictures of you two leaving the office late, entering your apartment building, even one of her leaving your place at 6 a.m. wearing your shirt. My blood went cold. Sarah was we never. I know, he said quietly. But they're saying you cheated first. Which means, under the prenup you signed, you forfeit 95% of your entire net worth goes to Emily. I sank onto the couch. She planned this. Looks that way. The clause only triggers if the higher net worth spouse cheats first. She made sure there was proof against you, then got caught on purpose. I stared at the engagement ring still on the table where she'd left it. She used me. The whole thing. The prenup, the tears, the "I just want to protect you" speech. All of it. I'm sorry, son, Mr. Thompson said. She and Harlan have been seen together for months. This was the endgame from the start. I closed my eyes. Rage and grief crashed together so hard I couldn't tell them apart. She thinks she won, I said, voice shaking. She thinks I'm finished. You're not. No, I picked up one of the photos of her and Greg, crushed it in my fist. I'm just getting started. I hung up, looked around at the home we'd built together, and felt nothing but cold, sharp clarity. They wanted to play dirty? Fine. I'd bury them both. Chapter 5, Rock Bottom. The divorce papers landed on the kitchen counter like a death sentence. I stared at the thick envelope, hands shaking. Emily's voice from last night still echoed. You'll see, Alex. You're the one who broke us. I ripped it open. Page after page of accusations. Me cheating with Sarah, timestamps, fake hotel receipts, even doctored CCTV stills. My own signature on the prenup glared back at me like it was laughing. My phone buzzed. Mr. Thompson, my lawyer. Alex, it's bad. They filed this morning. The infidelity clause is triggered. If the judge believes their evidence, you lose 95% of everything. 95. My throat closed. That's almost 12 billion. I'm sorry, son. We have 72 hours to respond. I hung up and threw the phone. It shattered against the marble floor, the same floor I'd picked out with Emily because she loved the gray veins. Next call was from my CFO. Stocks down 32% already. Investors are panicking. Bloomberg just ran the headline, billionaire CEO caught in sex scandal. I couldn't even answer. I just ended the call. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Mark holding a box of my stuff from the office. Hey man, he said, not meeting my eyes. Security said I had to bring this personally. You knew, I whispered. You knew she was sleeping with Greg and you said nothing. He shifted the box. Look, Greg promised me VP if the merger went through after, After they robbed me blind? It wasn't personal, Alex. Get out. He left the box and walked away. My best friend since college, gone in 10 seconds. Laura showed up an hour later with trash bags and pizza. Pack your suits, she ordered. You're not staying in this museum of lies one more night. I just sat on the floor. I have nowhere to go, Laura. You're moving in with me until we fix this. Come on. While we packed, my mom called. Baby, are you eating? No. Are you breathing? Barely. Then keep breathing. That's step 1. I love you. She hung up before I could cry on the phone. By midnight I was in Laura's guest room, a tiny box with a single bed. I opened my laptop. Bank accounts frozen. Credit cards declined. The penthouse already had a lockbox on the door. My phone lit up. Unknown number. Hello. Mr. Carter? It's Sarah. From the office. I almost hung up. What do you want? I'm so sorry, she rushed out. They threatened my mom's medical bills if I didn't play along. I didn't want to pose for those photos. I swear I tried to warn you that night at the party. You could have told me straight. I was scared. Greg said he'd ruin me too. Asobi krakie har voici. I recorded him bragging about the setup last week. I'll send it to you. Why help me now? Because I know what it feels like to lose everything to them. Let me help take it back. She hung up. A second later the audio file arrived, Greg's smug voice saying, once the prenup kicks in, Emily gets the cash, Carter's finished, and we split the empire. I played it again. And again. Something hot and sharp woke up in my chest. Not just pain anymore. I opened a new note on my phone and typed one line. They took everything. Now I take it all back. I stared at those words until the screen went dark, and for the first time in days, I didn't feel like breaking. I felt like burning the world down and building a new one from the ashes. Chapter 6, Gathering Strength. I sat in the coffee shop, hands shaking around a cold cup. Elena slid into the booth across from me, dropping a thick folder on the table. "Read this when you're ready," she said. "But you won't sleep tonight." I flipped it open. Bank transfers, shell companies, emails. My own money, hundreds of millions, already moving into accounts tied to Greg's holding company. "They're planning the merger announcement next week," Elena said quietly. "Once that happens, clawing it back becomes almost impossible." I closed the folder. "How long do we have?" 7 days, maybe less. My phone buzzed. Sarah, can we talk? I have something you need." "Me? On my way." 30 minutes later, I was in Sarah's tiny apartment. She locked the door behind me. "I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner," she started, eyes red. "Mark threatened my job, my visa, everything. But I kept copies." She handed me a USB drive. Every fake email they planted, every photo they edited. Timestamps, originals, metadata. All of it. I stared at the drive in my palm. "Why now?" "Because I watched you lose everything while I stayed quiet. I can't live with that." I pulled her into a hug without thinking. "Thank you." Next call was to Professor Hayes. He answered on the second ring. "Kid, I heard. You okay?" "No. But I need your brain." "Coffee shop on campus. 1 hour." He was already there when I arrived, white hair wild, reading glasses low on his nose. "Show me what you've got." I slid Elena's folder and Sarah's drive across the table. He whistled low. "They used a reverse triangular merger structure," he muttered. "Clever. Illegal as hell, but clever. There's a poison pill in the prenup they didn't expect." "What poison pill?" He tapped the folder. "You retained voting control of the shell company that holds your shares. They need your signature to finalize. Without it, the merger collapses." I felt the first real spark of hope in weeks. "So I still have a card to play." "More than one," he said, grinning. "But you'll have to be ruthless." That night Laura showed up at my door with pizza and a woman I'd never met. "This is Mia," Laura said. "Investigative reporter. Off the record, for now." Mia shook my hand. "I've been watching Greg for 2 years. Human trafficking rumors, tax shelters, the works. Give me something solid and I'll burn his world down." I handed her everything. "I want Emily's name on every page." Mia's eyes lit up. "You sure? Once this goes live, there's no taking it back." "I'm sure." Laura hugged me after Mia left. "You're scaring me a little, big brother." "Good," I said. "I'm done being the nice guy who gets robbed." Alone again, I opened my laptop and stared at the evidence folders. My cursor hovered over "Send all to press." Flashbacks hit hard, Emily laughing in our kitchen, whispering she'd love me forever, sliding that prenup across the table with a smile. I whispered to the empty room, "You taught me love can lie. Now I'll teach you regret can bankrupt." I clicked send to Mia with the message, "Do it. No mercy." Then I leaned back, heart pounding, and for the first time since the betrayal, I smiled. The power wasn't just coming back. It was already mine. Chapter 7. The Tables Turn. I stared at my phone, thumb hovering over send. Mia's voice came through the speaker. "You sure, Alex? Once this goes live, there's no taking it back." "Send it," I said, voice flat. "Let the world see who she really is." 8 hours later my phone exploded. Notifications, calls, texts. I didn't answer any. I just watched the article climb to the top of every news site. Laura burst through my apartment door without knocking. "Have you seen the comments? People are destroying her. Greg's stock dropped 23% already." I nodded, throat tight. "Good." That night Mark called 17 times. On the 18th I picked up. "Alex, please?" His voice cracked. "They fired me an hour ago. Greg threw me under the bus, said I helped forge everything. I didn't know it would go this far, I swear. You knew she was sleeping with him, I said. Silence. Then a sob. I needed the promotion money. My wife's medical bills. Stop. I hung up. The next morning I drove to the penthouse Emily still hadn't moved out of. She opened the door in yesterday's makeup, eyes swollen. Alex, she reached for me. I stepped back. Don't. Can I explain? Please, 5 minutes. You've got 2. She collapsed onto the couch. It started as a safety net. Greg said if anything ever happened, at least I'd be protected. Then he kept pushing, just a little insurance, and I was scared you'd leave me one day for someone younger, richer, whatever. I got greedy. I got stupid. I laughed, cold and sharp. You framed me for cheating so you could take everything. That's not stupid, Emily. That's evil. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I never wanted you hurt like this. I loved you. You loved my money. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I'm sorry. I'll give it all back, I'll confess, anything. Too late. I turned to leave. Behind me she whispered, I hate myself. I paused at the door. But, live with it. Greg tried to hit back the same week, filed a defamation suit, claimed the documents were fake. Elena called me from her office. Relax. I just sent his lawyers the original metadata and the paper trail of the shell company they used. Lawsuits dead before lunch. Sure enough, by evening Greg's press conference that afternoon, reporters were shouting questions about tax fraud instead. He stormed off the stage, face purple. Professor Hayes invited me for coffee the day the judge threw out the prenup entirely. You won, he said, pushing a cup toward me. Doesn't feel like winning. He studied me over his glasses. Revenge is sugar. It tastes sweet going down, then rots you from the inside. You got justice, Alex. That's different. Don't confuse the two. I stared into the black coffee. I keep waiting to feel happy. You will, he said softly, when you stop tasting blood. That night Laura and Mom showed up with pizza and cheap wine. Mom hugged me so hard my ribs hurt. I'm proud of you, baby. You didn't let them turn you into them. Laura raised her plastic cup. To never signing another prenup. We laughed, real laughter, for the first time in months. I stood on the balcony later, city lights blinking below. My fortune was coming back, piece by piece. Greg was finished. Emily was a ghost. Mark was broken. Everything they took, I took back twice over. But Professor Hayes was right. It didn't taste like sugar anymore. It tasted like survival. Chapter 8. Facing the Mirror. I sat in the empty courtroom after the judge banged the gavel. The words "case dismissed, assets restored" still echoed, but my chest felt hollow. Emily's lawyer helped her stand. She looked small now, makeup smudged, hair flat. She turned to me, voice cracking. Please, can we talk? Just 5 minutes. I stared at her. You had 2 years to talk. You chose lies instead. I know I destroyed everything, she whispered, tears falling. I was scared of being poor again. Greg promised. Stop. I stood up. Your excuses don't bring back the nights I couldn't sleep or the company I almost lost. We're done. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I really did love you once. I walked out without answering. Outside, reporters shouted questions. I ignored them and climbed into Laura's car. Laura glanced at me. You okay? No. But I will be. 2 days later my phone rang. Man, please pick up. I messed up huge. Greg fired me the second the article dropped. I've got nothing left. Can we meet? I let it ring out, then blocked the number. That night Sarah came over with takeout. She set the bags down and hugged me tight. I read the judgment, she said softly. How are you holding up? Like someone punched a hole through my life and just handed me the pieces back. She pulled away, looked me in the eyes. Then let's build something new with those pieces. I laughed, the first real laugh in months. You make it sound easy. It's not easy, she said. Just worth it. We ate on the floor because I still hadn't bought furniture for the new place. She nudged my foot. Remember the company Christmas party? You spilled wine on my dress and spent 20 minutes apologizing. I remember you told me to shut up and dance with you instead. Best bad dance of my life, she smiled. I felt something loosen in my chest. Sunday, Laura hosted dinner at Mom's house. Mom opened the door and pulled me into a hug that smelled like rosemary and home. My brave boy, she whispered. Inside Mia the journalist, lifted a glass. To the man who turned a trap into a comeback story. Laura raised hers. And to never signing another prenup. Everyone laughed, even me. We sat around the old oak table. Mom passed the lasagna. Mom looked at me. Are you angry still? Some days, I said. Mostly tired. Laura leaned over. Angry is okay. Just don't let it move in permanently. Sarah squeezed my hand under the table. Later, I stood on Mom's porch alone. The sky was clear, stars sharp. I pulled out Emily's last voice message. I'd never deleted it. Her voice, small and shaky. I dream about the night you proposed. I ruined the best thing that ever happened to me. I know you won't forgive me. I just needed you to hear I'm sorry. I pressed delete. I breathed in the cold air. The wound was still there, but it finally stopped bleeding. Inside, Sarah called, "Dessert's ready." "Coming," I said and walked back toward the light. Chapter 9, New Beginnings. I stood in the new office, sunlight pouring through the glass walls, and watched the team cheer as the relaunch countdown hit 0. Sarah squeezed my hand. "You did it. Version 2.0 is live." I pulled her close. "We did it." My phone buzzed on the desk. A known number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. "Hello. Alex." Tina's voice cracked. "It's me. Please don't hang up." I stepped onto the balcony so the team wouldn't hear. "What do you want, Tina?" "I saw the launch. Everyone's talking about you again. The good kind this time." She took a shaky breath. "Emily's not okay. She lost the apartment. She's staying on my couch, crying every night. She asked me to tell you she's sorry." "Like really sorry?" I stared at the city below. She said that the night I caught her too. Didn't mean anything then, doesn't mean anything now. I know. I feel guilty. I knew she was lying to you for months and I never said a word. Then you should feel guilty. Silence stretched. Finally she whispered, "Take care of yourself, Alex." I ended the call and went back inside. Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" Ghost from the past. I kissed her forehead. "Nothing that matters anymore." That night we cooked dinner at my place. Well, Sarah cooked, I mostly handed her things and stole bites. She swatted my hand away from the sauce. "Patience. I've been patient for months. I want to ask you something and I'm tired of waiting for the perfect moment." She turned, spoon still in hand. "Ask." I dropped to one knee right there between the stove and the fridge, holding out the ring I'd carried for weeks. "Sarah, you saw me at my absolute worst. You stayed when everyone else ran. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I don't want a prenup. I don't want safeguards. I just want you for the rest of my life. Marry me?" Her eyes filled so fast the spoon clattered to the floor. "Yes. God, yes." She crashed into me, kissing me through happy tears, sauce forgotten on the burner. Later, tangled in sheets and laughter, she traced the scar on my shoulder from the night everything fell apart. "Do you ever think about her?" she asked softly. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But not the way you think. I think about how losing everything showed me who was real. She's part of the past that made this moment possible." Sarah smiled against my chest. "Good answer." The next morning Elena called while I made coffee. "Morning, boss. Just tied up the last loose end. Greg officially filed for bankruptcy at 6 a.m. I laughed into my mug. Music to my ears. "Professor Hayes wants to take us all to dinner to celebrate the new patents. You in? Wouldn't miss it." Sarah walked in wearing my shirt, hair a mess, looking perfect. She stole my coffee and kissed me. I looked at her, really looked, and felt something settle deep inside. The money came back. The company grew bigger than ever. But this woman, this life, was the real victory. Emily could keep her regrets. I had everything I never knew I needed. Chapter 10. Eternal Echoes. I was sitting on the back porch watching our daughter chase fireflies when the mail came. Sarah walked out holding a single white envelope. "This came for you," she said softly, handing it over. "Return address is a P.O. box in Chicago." I knew the handwriting before I even opened it. "Emily." I tore it open right there. One page, shaking fingers. "Dear Alex, I know you'll probably burn this. I would. I just needed to say I'm sorry. Not the fake tears I gave in court, the real kind that wake me up at 3 a.m. every night. I lost everything. House gone. Friends gone. Greg left the country after the fraud charges. I worked 2 jobs just to pay rent on a studio that smells like mold. I see your face on billboards now, your new AI division, and I remember when I used to trace that same smile while you slept. I destroyed the only real thing I ever had. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I finally understand what I stole from you. I'm sorry. Emily." Sarah read over my shoulder. "Are you okay?" I folded the letter and slipped it into my pocket. "Yeah, I am." She kissed the top of my head. "Dinner's ready. Your mom and Laura are inside arguing over who gets to spoil the kids more." I laughed. "Let me guess, Mom already bought the pony." "2 ponies, Sarah corrected, grinning. Inside, Mom was wiping sauce off my son's face. "There's my boy," she called when she saw me. "Come eat before Laura steals all the garlic bread." Laura raised her glass. "To my brother, the man who turned poison into medicine." I lifted mine. "To all of you. Couldn't have done it without you." Later that night, after the kids were asleep, Sarah found me on the porch again. "You didn't answer her letter," she said, curling up beside me. "Don't need to," I said. "She already knows the answer." My phone buzzed. A text from an old number, Mark. "Hey man. Saw you on the cover of Forbes. Proud of you. Any chance we could grab coffee? I miss my friend." I stared at the screen for a long time. Sarah watched me. "You gonna reply?" I deleted the message, set the phone face down, and pulled her closer. "Nah," I said. "Some doors stay closed for a reason." She rested her head on my shoulder. "You turned out okay, Alex?" I looked up at the stars, feeling the weight of everything that had happened. The betrayal, the fall, the fight back, the peace I finally found. "I turned out better than okay," I whispered. "I turned out free. And for the first time in years, I meant it with every piece of me."